All right, let's talk about one of Berlin's most striking, and honestly, most powerful landmarks, the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church. It's this one building that tells a massive story, a story of incredible pride, of absolute devastation, and then this amazing will to rebuild.
Okay, so picture this. You're standing right in the middle of modern Berlin, everything's buzzing, and then you see it. This ruined, bombed-out church tower just sitting there next to a super sleek modern building. It's a real shock to the system, and it's totally intentional. It really makes you stop and think, right? In a city that's all about reinvention and looking forward, why on earth would they choose to keep a scar like that right out in the open for everyone to see?
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll kick things off with its famous nickname, then we'll dive into that wild contrast between the ruin and the rebirth. We've got an amazing story about a cross made of nails. Yeah, you heard that right. We'll see how this icon fits into the city today, and then, of course, give you everything you need to know if you want to visit.
First up, Berlin's Hollow Tooth. To really get why this scar is so important, we have to go back in time, back to the pride that built it in the first place, and then to the moment it all came crashing down.
So the original church, it was a huge deal. It was built back in the 1890s to honor Emperor Wilhelm I, a real symbol of Prussian power. Its spire was the tallest thing in the city. But then came November 1943, and an Allied bombing raid just shattered it. Only the main tower was left standing. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. In the 50s, the plan was to just tear the rest of it down. But the people of Berlin, they said no way. They protested, they wanted to keep their scar. And that led to this amazing compromise we see today, building a brand new church right alongside and even embracing the old ruin.
And of course, Berliners gave it the perfect nickname, Der Hohle Zahn, the hollow tooth. Just think about that. It's so visceral, right? A jagged, empty, aching space. It perfectly captures that feeling of pain and loss. And just like that, it stopped being a monument to an emperor and became a monument against war.
Okay, let's step inside. We're going to look at both parts of this story, the wound and the healing. It's amazing how two totally different buildings can tell one single, powerful story. So if you go into the base of that old, ruined tower, you'll find the Memorial Hall. It's basically a museum about itself. You can see these incredible mosaics that somehow survived the bombing, pictures of what the church used to look like, and then you see the original crucifix. It's charred, it's damaged, but it's still there. It's a really quiet, powerful space that it makes you face the history head on.
And you've got to love the Berliners' sense of humor, because it really tells you everything about their relationship with this place. The old ruin is the heavy, serious hollow tooth. But the new buildings, the sleek hexagonal bell tower and the octagonal church, they nicknamed them the lipstick and powder box. It's so perfect, right? It just captures that sleek, modern, almost stylish vibe of the new, next to the raw, jagged scar of the old.
Okay, now let's talk about the new church, the powder box. I want you to get this number in your head, 27,000. What is that? Well, that's how many individual blue glass panels make up the walls.
Yeah, it's what some people call the blue miracle. The architect worked with a French artist, Gabriel Loire, to create this atmosphere. Every single one of those 27,000 panels was designed to create this deep, peaceful, immersive blue light. And blue, of course, symbolizes peace. Seriously, the moment you walk in, the sound of the city, the traffic, the people, all of it just disappears. You're just wrapped in this calm, blue silence. It is absolutely a space for healing.
And sitting in that incredible blue light is this piece of art that it'll stop you in your tracks. It's called the Stalingrad Madonna. A German doctor, Kurt Ruber, drew it with charcoal on the back of a map during the hell of the Battle of Stalingrad in 1942. He drew it for his fellow soldiers at Christmas. He himself didn't survive the war. To have this drawing, this tiny spark of hope from one of the darkest moments in history, find its home here, wow. It's such a powerful message about finding humanity and peace, even in the worst of times.
But believe it or not, maybe the most powerful symbol of peace inside this church isn't even German. This next part is an incredible story of reconciliation that connects Berlin to a city it once considered an enemy.
Just let that sink in for a second. The most important object about forgiveness in this whole place, it isn't from Berlin. It's a gift from a former enemy. It's called the Cross of Nails. See, back in 1940, German bombs leveled the beautiful old cathedral in Coventry, England. And in the smoking ruins, a priest picked up some of the medieval iron nails that had held the roof together for centuries, and he fashioned them into a cross.
And instead of calling for revenge, which would have been the easy thing to do, right? The head of the cathedral had 2 words written on the wall of the ruined church: Father, forgive. I mean, what an unbelievable act of grace. That single choice turned a site of hatred into a global symbol of peace.
And that act started a whole worldwide movement. The cross of nails you see in Berlin today was a gift, from Coventry to Berlin, an incredible gesture of peace between 2 cities that were once bitter enemies. It made this church a part of a global community, the community of the cross of nails, all working to heal history's wounds and build a better future.
So this isn't just a relic of the past, right? It's a living, breathing part of the city. Let's look at how this icon actually fits into the hustle and bustle of modern Berlin.
Okay, so the church is located on Breitscheidplatz, which is right in the heart of West Berlin's shopping district, next to the famous Kudamm. You've got stores, traffic, people everywhere. It's busy. It's the kind of place where you see people grabbing a currywurst with this massive historical ruin looming behind them. And that's what's so amazing. It's this island of quiet contemplation, this constant, physical reminder of the past, smack dab in the middle of all that modern chaos.
And yeah, we have to remember, this place is not just a museum, it's a real active church. It's part of the community. They have regular services, there are concerts, organ music filling that blue space. It's not just looking back at the past, it's a living place for people today to find a moment of peace and reflection.
So if you're thinking you might want to see this place for yourself, and you totally should, let's get into the practical stuff, and then we'll wrap up with the big message this monument leaves us with.
Getting there is super easy. It's right by the Zoologischer Garten station, a major transport hub. The new church is pretty much open every day from morning till evening. The Memorial Hall in the Old Tower has slightly shorter hours, so just check those before you go. And a quick tip, since it's an active church, you can't just wander in during a service or a concert, so plan around those times.
And really, when you boil it all down, the lesson here is so powerful. This church basically says that some scars are worth keeping, that we shouldn't just paper over the past. By keeping its hollow tooth, Berlin made a choice to live with its history, not hide from it. So the ruin isn't just about destruction. It's about what came next, not just a new building, but a new kind of relationship, one built on reconciliation.
Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. This church is an incredible example of how you can take a place of absolute horror and conflict and turn it into a beacon for peace. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other scars from our past, the ones we usually try to ignore or forget, could actually be our best guides to a more peaceful future?